your name? Don't you play this game? You from another land, got you like it's contraband. Tell me what's your name? Don't you play this game? You from another land, got you like it's contraband.
What's up, guys? Keyshawn here, back at you with another new video. Now, sorry if you hear any background noises and all that stuff. I'm pretty much at work right now, but I wanted to do a quick what if video for y'all guys, so y'all guys don't get bored or be like, God, is he doing this all over again? So this is going to be a new what if. This is going to be what if Naruto was a android, you could say. This is going to be like basically a new what if. This is basically going to be Naruto being an android. And no, it's not. He's not going to be android like from Dragon Ball, like Android 17, 18. No, he's basically going to be an android, basically a human who's basically an android. Well, you could say a ninja, basically an android / ninja. So let's see how would this happen. What will he basically look like, and will he be dangerously OP, or will he just be an android, just a little bit more durable? Well, let's find out. Now, pretty much we're going to start off as the same thing. Everything's happened as the same thing of the start of the anime of Naruto. Naruto's attack happens, Minato does this, Obito does that, and we're going to skip on that part. Everything happens the same, pretty much. We're going to pretty much skip on and have Naruto pretty much be as I say pretty much 12, and he's pretty much a teenager at this point. We're going to start off the anime right there. Now, this is the head of the academy still, and he's pretty much going to be 12. Now, this is where he's pretty much heading to the academy, but we're going to pretty much have an attack happen randomly. Now, this is where attack randomly happened, and pretty much this is where we could say Orochimaru would pretty much start earlier to try to, grab some secret scrolls, and also to try to grab Sasuke if he can. Now, this is where Orochimaru has a Sound Village to attack, and pretty much ninjas are attacking ninjas left to right. Chaos is happening, explosions is happening randomly at parts. People don't know what's going on, and this is pretty much confusing. Now, this is where pretty much everybody's trying to figure out what's going on and stuff. Ninjas coming out, battling, jutsus are just happening everywhere. Bullshit is happening, right? Now, this is where Naruto is pretty much going, and pretty much is trying to figure out what's going on until he hears pretty much a girl screaming. And this is Hinata's pretty much screaming. Well, not Hinata, Sakura, you could say. Now, this is where Naruto, of course, having a crush on Sakura, starts heading over to Sakura and pretty much trying to help out Sakura. These are where a couple of sound ninjas pretty much knows this is Naruto and begins to, try to get Naruto too. Maybe they can have a 9 tails as an extra reward if they bring him to Orochimaru. Now, as this is happening, this is where pretty much the attacks is happening, and Naruto's trying to help out Sakura, but pretty much based on his skills, I'm just going to say his skills is not as good. He gets his ass beat by the ninjas, and pretty much he gets fatally wounded, as they do a slash right at his back, and a 2x slash right on his chest, pretty much leaving him wounded and bleeding out. This is where the Nine Tails begins trying to heal him, until the sound ninja doesn't want him to actually get up or heal. They begins to stab him multiple times in the arms and legs, which this is where the Nine Tails is barely has to forcibly give out more chakra to Naruto to pretty much to keep him alive. Now, as that's happening, this is where pretty much Sakura is screaming in horror, seeing a bunch of blood, and Naruto's down, looking like a bloody pope. And this is where pretty much the Hokage knows what's going on and begins to bring out the big support, you could say. This is where a bunch of Abo ninjas come out, fucking killing sound ninjas left and right, beating their asses. And this is where Orochimaru already got what he needed, got some scrolls, but he couldn't get Sasuke. Pretty upsetting, but he doesn't care. He just got what he needed in the first smart, and he pretty much gets out of there. Now, this is where pretty much Danzo sees Naruto almost lifeless party, and he takes him and pretty much takes him away, saying to take him to the area so he can get treated, which Hiruzen's saying, what do you think you're doing with Naruto? Which pretty much Danzo says, what do you think I'm doing? I'm going to save his life, which Hiruzen's trying to go against it, but Danzo's, of course, gets his way and says, no, if we loses him, then pretty much the Leaf Village will be having no tail beast, and we're going to be vulnerable and we're going to get attacked. Which, this is where Of course, Hiruzen says okay, and Danzo smiles and says, alright, and he will bring him back. Now this is where Danzo will take him to a secret laboratory, where this is where he meets a scientist. And no, the scientist is not going to be Dr. Jerome or anything, but it's just going to be some random scientist that makes these bizarre experiments, such as androids, half androids, humans with a human brain inside, or like a human with a unique ability that he can become smoke and can be intangible to attacks and stuff. Like, I'm talking about crazy shit. Sorry about that, guys. Had to, do some work, but I'm going to be pausing now and then, but I will give you a long video because I really want to do this video. But let's get this started. So, basically, pretty much after that, the scientists, all that. I'm talking about the craziest scientists. I'm talking about those mad scientists that can make shit be very powerful in martial arts in the world. You could say that's the scientists, but pretty much after that, this is where pretty much Danzo will bring Naruto's almost lifeless body and says, can you change him? Can you make him a very valuable asset to the Leaf Village, you could say. This is where pretty much the scientist will look at him and says, of course, but I might have to alter him. Will that be okay? Which the scientist smile. Which this is where Danzo says, of course, you can. Which this is where pretty much the scientist will grab Naruto's body and put him in this machine, you could say. Or you could say put him in this tube machine kind of thing and begin to start altering Naruto's body. Now, as that's possible, and not as he's doing that, this is where Naruto's body start getting altered into an android. It would be like this kind of sense. This is where Naruto's, organs start getting replaced by like cybernetic robot organs, indestructible organs. He begins to start getting his body, you could say first his whole body kind of start getting replaced, and it gets into this body you see on the screen. Then his organs start getting replaced by cybernetic organs, and it just start going on and on. Now, as that's happening, this is where Danzo has some DNA of stuff he wants to put in Naruto, such as some Uchiha DNA in Senju, and also some Hyuga and some other clans' DNA. And he begins to show some blueprints that he wants in Naruto, such as some bug. The Bug Clan has some holes in some tube in his body, so it won't really mess with Naruto. But also he can like control bugs and drain people chakra. I'm talking about he wants the best out of Naruto. This is what Danzo wants. Now this is where Danzo also says, can you also make him only serve me? Which the scientist says, oh yeah, of course, I can do that for you, Danzo. But the scientist has other plans in mind. He's not really trying to he's not really trying to have Danzo control Naruto. He kind of wants Naruto to be his own thing. Because this is one thing about the scientist. The scientist, which he has no name. He's a nameless scientist, I say this. But his only goal is to create new life or create something that's dangerous and let it roam free. Because he's a mad scientist. Yeah, I know it's a little cheesy and what the hell, that doesn't make sense. But bear with me, some scientist does that, okay? Bear with me. But pretty much after that, this is where, he says, oh yeah, I got you. He's going to serve you, but he doesn't do that. He basically does all the stuff, put all the DNAs and stuff in Naruto, and he's pretty much almost done. And this is where he downloads the compute of no one. He doesn't listen to no one. Basically, no one can control him. There's no secret passcodes where they can control Naruto. He's completely free of his own will. So if he wants to kill the village, he can kill the village without any remorse. He also took away the sadness of remorse and all that shit. So Naruto won't feel that whole, oh, I'm gonna feel bad of killing the villagers or blowing up the village or some shit or doing this. He has no emotion of that. So keep that in mind. This is where he's pretty much finishing up on Naruto, and this is where Hiruzen goes to Danzo at his Anbu complex and says, where's Naruto? Danzo. Which, this is where Danzo says, whoa, I have him right here. he's all set. He's all good in health and stuff. This is where Naruto comes down, and he's pretty much saying, "Oh, Lord Hiruzen." Like, he's basically calling Hiruzen old man, like, "Oh man, what up?" He was pretty much making sure I'm okay and stuff. Which, this is where Hiruzen starts looking at Naruto, checking him up and down, making sure he's alright, seeing if it's any seals or anything, and he's perfectly fine. Which Hiruzen says, "Oh, okay. You actually kept your word this time, Danzo." Which Danzo said, "Of course. I just want to make sure our little Naruto okay." Which, this is where Hiruzen pretty much says, "Alright, Naruto, you ready to go back home?" Which Naruto says, "Yes, I am." And they begin to start heading back. Now, this is where Naruto heads back home and he begins to lay down. Which, this is where Hiruzen tells one of the Anbu members that he trusts and that's loyal to him, to watch over Naruto to see if he's not doing anything suspicious or weird. And which one of the Anbu says, "Yes, sir," and begins to start watching Naruto, kind of like an observer. Now, we're going to get started on the anime now. Now, this is where Naruto wakes up the next day, and he's pretty much yawning and stuff, and he feels much more stronger, or weird some sense. He feels much lighter, he feels more dense, he feels like his body is like a machine, kind of. It's like he can do anything. But he doesn't mind it, he starts heading out again. Now, as he's pretty much going, this is where he's pretty much yawning and walking straight to the academy. And this is where he goes straight to the academy and he opens up, and this is where he meets everybody again and stuff and all that stuff, and he heads straight to the seat. Now, as he's heading straight to the seat, he sits down and pretty much start yawning. And the teacher, pretty much Aruka Sensei, comes in and pretty much looking around saying, "Alright, class, today we're going to be doing a test," which everybody's, saying okay, which Naruto's saying, "A test?" Which, this is where Naruto is not that smart. And Aruka saying, "Yes, Naruto, a test. We're gonna see. This is a test to test y'all grade, and if y'all don't pass this test, you're pretty much is gonna get a F for, the almost a little bit of the rest of the semester." Which Naruto says, "Oh, god damn it." Now, this is where the test starting, and Naruto's pretty much looking at the test, and he doesn't know none of this shit. He's very confused, and he's like, "Oh man, I knew I should have studied." But as he's confusing and being frustrated, this is where he hears AI system starts in his brain saying, "Hello, Naruto." Which Naruto freaks out, and everybody's looking at him and laughing. And pretty much this is where Sakura is saying, "Jeez, Naruto, what got you singing? What got you screaming? And what got you in the penny and sponge?" Pretty much Sakura's joking around, trying to be a class clown. Which everybody started laughing and stuff. Which Naruto's saying, "Oh, shut up. I thought I heard someone whisper in my head." Like, this is where pretty much he gets back up and sits in the seat, which this is where the AI robot begins to start talking to him again and saying, "Hello, Naruto, I am your AI assistant, or your AI buddy, or pretty much a part of you." Which Naruto doesn't know what the hell is going on and asks, "Who is she?" Which he's whispering it because, yeah, he's talking to her, but this is where the AI system is pretty much explaining to that she's pretty much his guide to help him out with everything, such as learning new abilities and teaching him more about what he needs, like what he got and stuff and all that stuff. This is where she pretty much saying, would he like her to help him with the test? Which pretty much this is where Naruto is saying, "Can you really do that?" Which she's saying, "Of course, she can do anything." Which this is where Naruto says, "Yeah, can you help me out do this test so I can get a perfect grade to pass?" Which she pretty much says, "Well, do," and she says, "Give her a sec." And this is where she pretty much uses like kind of a jutsu, but not at the same time, like a technology jutsu to do like research around. But she's pretty much connecting to everybody's memories and thoughts, kind of like a Ino jutsu, where she can like go in people's mindscapes. It's like that, but like instead of like controlling people, she can go in their mindscapes and take all their information that they know, such as Ruka Sensei up to Kakashi, and she can learn pretty much anything, such as jutsus, knowledge, history, or just how to like get stuff, you could say. And this is where she pretty much activates it, and she pretty much says, "Okay, start listening to what I have to start listening to me. I will tell you all the answer." Which Naruto says, "All right." He pretty much writes it all down, and she's telling him pretty much everything, kind of like a cheat sheet, you could say. Now after that, this is where pretty much she pretty much no, after that he pretty much writes it all down, and he pretty much hands it to Aruka, being done than everybody else. Which Aruka saying, did you make sure you checked the answers and read them, Naruto? Which Aruka's giving him that eyebrow, which Naruto said, "Yeah, of course, I did it." Which Aruka gives him the wide eyebrows again, and he checks it, and he says, "Oh my god, you got it all correct, Naruto. Did you cheat?" Which Naruto's saying, "Oh no, I didn't cheat, Aruka Sensei. I just did it legit." Which Aruka Sensei is still looking at him and saying, "Okay, Naruto, let me search you." Which Aruka Sensei is really not believing in Naruto. But this is when he checked Naruto, and he actually is like, "Wow, okay, you actually didn't cheat. I'm actually quite amazed." Which Naruto's saying, "See, I told you, Aruka Sensei." Which he's pretty much laughing, putting his thumbs up. Which Aruka's saying, "Well, congratulations of getting 100. Now, after all that, sorry about that, guys. I didn't want y'all to hear all that noise, but let's continue. Pretty much after that, this is where Naruto pretty much is sitting back to the seat, and Sasuke is a little bit curious of how he got 100. And any of the other students are amazed that Naruto got 100. They're still trying to figure out, how is he so smart now? And how did he get 100? Because Naruto is regularly the class clown and not smart. But later on, this is where we get to the later on thing, and this is where they start doing the 1v1s thing and all that stuff. And everything goes the same, including the fight between Sasuke and Naruto. Now, this is where Sasuke pretty much is doing the finger seal, and Naruto's doing the finger seal, and they start fighting with each other. Now, this is where the AI is up to the point, can read people movements and know what they're going to do next. This is where pretty much she's telling him where to dodge and where to block and where to counter him. So when Sasuke's doing the kick, she pretty much says duck, Naruto duck. When he's about to throw another kick or throw a kick and punch, she says duck, block, and then punch. Which he's pretty much countering the shit out of Sasuke. He's pretty much just whooping Sasuke with ease without getting touched. Now this is where Sasuke start getting frustrated and pissed off, and he jumps back shooting a fireball at Naruto. Now this is where Naruto doesn't know what to do next, which this is where she explains to pretty much lift up his hand, which he's saying, "You want me to try to grab it?" Which she's saying, "No, I want you to open up your palms so you can absorb it," which Naruto doesn't believe, but he says, "Alright," and he pretty much lifts out his hand. This is where Naruto absorbs the whole fireball, which everybody is shocked, including Sasuke. And this is where Naruto feels he is stronger than he did before, which he's saying, "What is this?" Which she explains that he has a power where he can absorb any chakra, such as water or anything. Whatever he touches, whatever that comes at him, he can absorb it. Kind of like the Diva path, but like not actually taking damage. He can just absorb it without taking any damage. So this is where he absorbs the thing and charges straight at Sasuke, hitting him with a combo and knocking him out. This is where Ruka declaimed Naruto as the winner, and everybody's just shocked, saying, "No, he cheated." Sorry about that. But he's saying, "No, he cheated. He's basically doing something. He's using some type of cheap trick." Which Naruto's saying, "Oh, shut up. Y'all just mad because I kicked your little cutie, not cutie, what is it? You kicked your little handsome Jack, or like your handsome Sasuke," which everybody's getting mad, and Aruka says, "Enough. Naruto's winner, fair square," and Naruto's pretty much happy about it. Now this is where Naruto pretty much is heading home, and Sasuke pretty much stops Naruto and asks, "How did he do it?" Which Sasuke says, "What are you talking about? How did you absorb my fireball, or like cancel it out?" Which Naruto pretty much smiles, just says, "Hey, I'm just better than you," and pretty much just walking away. Which Sasuke gets pissed off about it and try to stop Naruto, but Naruto pretty much grabs Sasuke's hand and just pretty much bends it, not crush it, but bends it, and says, don't ever touch me like that again. We're not friends like that. Which he pretty much throws Sasuke by the side and walks away. It begins to walk home. Now, the next day, this is where we gotta get to... Well, no. Naruto pretty much heads home and he begins to relax. Now, this is where the AI begins to start talking to Naruto again and explaining what is he. It explained that in the lab he was almost dead and he was like lifeless almost. And pretty much the scientist, which, like I said, doesn't have a name, pretty much upgraded him, giving him a bunch of stuff, such as giving him Uchiha DNA, giving him Senju DNA and Hyuga, and giving him all sorts of other DNA. Now, this is where Naruto is shocked and saying, so I have Senju DNA? Which the AI explains what is Senju DNA and that he can control wood style and also you manipulate wood and all that. And do some wood style stuff. Which Naruto is amazed and saying awesome, which he's saying, what about the Uchiha DNA? Which this is where she explained that he can pretty much use the Sharingan that what Sasuke can use because she identified he's a Uchiha. He could pretty much upgrade it all the way up to a Rinnegan, which he pretty much says what is a Rinnegan, which he's saying that a Rinnegan is basically is owned by the Sage of Sixth Path, the father of all chakra creation and stuff. And he could pretty much awaken it, but it's gonna take a while for him to do it. Which Naruto is like saying, cool, he can't wait to have that. And pretty much she explains that the Hyuga, he also has the DNA of the Hyuga, which he can also activate the Hyuga Byakugan, and he can also revive it, like enhance it into the Texion, which pretty much he's saying he's also is like amazing X, what is that, which she explains it what it is, and he's saying, and she also explains that it's not as strong as the Rinnegan, but it's still as strong as coming in second, which Naruto is just amazed by that too, and saying, wow, okay. This is where she pretty much explained for him to pretty much unlock them, he has to train. He doesn't have to train, he just has to get more chakra, or absorb more chakra to pretty much get more powerful, to basically use them or to activate them, which Naruto says, alright, and he begins to start getting ready. Which the AI robot says for him to get more chakra, he can eat chakra pills, or he can just absorb other people's techniques and stuff, and to boost up his power of chakra. And also the nine tails inside of him, which she explains that he has the nine tails, he can also use that chakra as well to pretty much absorb to unlock those eyes and stuff. Which Naruto is amazing, but he's also confused saying nine tails, which she explains that he has like a nine tails beast inside of him named Kuroma, and he's pretty much sealed away. But if he can open up the gates, he can get more chakra. Which Naruto is just confused still, saying, okay, so I have a nine tails Jinchuriki in me. Which she explains that long ago the nine tails attack happened, it was because of him, but also it was because he was mind controlled. How does she have all this information? Because like I said, she has Ino's thing, but like much better, and she can like not control them, but she can get all information, including from Tail Beast. Yes, I know, kind of broken, kind of OP, but you know, we make it work. But pretty much after that, she explains that to tap into it, he has to meditate to get in his mind state to talk to him and to open up the gate. Now, Naruto says okay, and he pretty much heads into deep meditation to meet the Nine Tails. Now, this is where Naruto ends up in his mindscape, looking around, and this is where he sees the AI, and it's like pretty much a female robot, like an android. And she's pretty much talking to Naruto at the same time in the mindscape and pretty much showing him the gate. And she pretty much tells him how to unlock it. And before he does, he looks at Kuroma, and he's not afraid. He's not in fear or anything. He's just a little bit shocked. Now this is where Kuroma says, hey kid, what are you doing here? which pretty much Naruto says, "So you are Kurama?" Which pretty much Kurama says, "Yes, how do you know my name?" Which Naruto pretty much says that's not important. He's here to pretty much unlock the gate to get more of his chakra. Which pretty much this is where Kurama says, huh, "So you want some of my chakra, kid?" Which Naruto says, "Yes, I need your chakra." Which this is where Kurama is pretty much saying, "Huh, sure, I'll let you have my chakra. Unleash the gate." Which this is where Naruto begins to release the gate seal and pretty much open it up. Now this is where Kurama thinks he's about to control Naruto and take over his body. Nah, that doesn't happen that way. With the AI, she pretty much control Kurama and pretty much bends him to her will. So he can't either harm Naruto or take over his body. All he can do is just become like, you could say, a cow and you could say become a battery for Naruto. So yeah, he can't do nothing. So Kurama has no free will. Now this is where Kurama is saying what's going on, which Naruto begins to gain Kurama's chakra feel right inside of him. Now this is where Naruto begins to start feeling the full Nine Tails chakra absorbing inside of him, and he begins to close his eyes. Now this is where he closes his eyes and he opens back up, and he activates the Sharingan. And it's only in the one Tommy sake. It's not gonna be in like all powerful state, but it's gonna be in the one Tommy sake. And then Naruto is amazed, and he closes his eyes again, and he opens up the Byakugan in his eyes, and he's being amazed by it. Now this is where he has the idea, and he opens up his eye in the right side, showing the Sharingan, and he opens up his left side, showing the Byakugan. Which now he says, "Wow, amazing." Sorry about that, guys, but let's continue. Pretty much this is where he realized that he can do one Byakugan and one Sharingan, which he's quite amazed what he can do. Now this is where he recloses his eyes and he says, "Huh, amazing. This is quite awesome." Which, Naruto's excited and stuff. Now this is where the AI pretty much taps Naruto's forehead, and she pretty much gave him all the information of the Hyuga clan and the Uchiha, including like Shisui Uchiha. Which, how did she do that? She can pretty much get information of memory patterns before they all die out and get their techniques and stuff in their memories. Now, this is where pretty much she gives him all the information about all Uchihas and all Hyugas and all other clans. And Naruto has the brain capacity because the scientists alter his brain too. So now he can hold up to 100, like a lot of memory, up to 100. He can have access to 100% of his brain. So he has 100% access of his brain, and he can control his memories and his also his information, what he can get and what he can throw away. So pretty much he gets all the information of the Hyuga and stuff, including all their secret techniques and stuff. And he says, "Huh, okay." Which this is where Naruto's amazed. Now this is where the AI says for him to go get some sleep. Which Naruto doesn't need sleep, but he goes to sleep anyways. And he pretty much leaves his stag. Well, his mind zone, you could say, and pretty much heads to sleep. Now the next day Naruto wakes up and he heads straight to the academy. And pretty much this is where who gets Rookie of the Year and stuff. Now, Sasuke still gets Rookie of the Year because I'm going to say Naruto didn't get it because, he just now started putting some good grades and some combat in. So, only Sasuke still gets the Rookie of the Year. But other than that, yeah, Naruto gets second. So, yeah, other than that. But pretty much this is where Aruka Sensei start doing the graduation. And Naruto graduate because he got his grades up and he did the shadow clone right because Kurama's not fucking with his chakra no more. So yeah. But but I know y'all guys accent, but what about the Mixie scene? The Miski scene? Well, Miski really doesn't have a scene because, like I said, Orochimaru stole some of the scrolls. And so, yeah, Miski really doesn't have anything to offer up to Orochimaru. And plus, he got killed in the crossfire. So, yeah, there's no scene of that. But let's continue. Pretty much, yeah. After the graduation, everybody gets the headband. This is where pretty much the teams are getting signed, and every team is the same, including Team 7. If you want me to change it up, just leave it in a comment. But other than that, every team is the same. Now this is where every sensei is coming to greet their students and stuff, except for Team 7. Now this is where Naruto is pretty much just chilling, pretty much pulling out kunai, throwing it around and stuff. Well, pretty much flicking around his finger, and he's just doing that, bored. While Sasuke is pretty much just minding his own business, doing whatever, just doing the whole emo, doing the whole goth edginess and all that shit. And Sakura's trying to pull up the courage to try to talk to Sasuke. Now as that's happening, this is where Kakashi comes in all late and stuff, saying and looking at the team. And pretty much he looks at Sasuke, pretty much looking at Sakura, which she's trying to mess her up and stuff. And this is where he sees sees Naruto. And Naruto's not doing anything. And this is where Naruto grabs kunai and throws it at Kakashi, which Kakashi catches it. And Naruto looks at Kakashi and says, huh, you actually catch it. Like, he says, wow, you actually catch it. Well, I already knew you was going to catch it. But what took you so long? Which Kakashi gives him an eyebrow saying, okay, meet me up in the rooftop. Which, this is where everybody meets him up in the rooftop. Now, this is where Kakashi does his thing, saying, like, it's none of your business, none of your business. Then we go to Sakura. Sakura saying, well, I just want to, and does all that giggling shit. Sasuke is pretty much the same, all edginess, want to kill a certain someone, which Naruto already knows what he wants to kill. It's his brother Itachi, because like I said, the AI gave him the information and also giving him access to Sasuke memories, so Naruto already knows why Sasuke wants to kill this certain someone and who he wants to kill. And Naruto's goal and dream is pretty much to become Hokage, but the strongest ninja out there. He's talking about to become a god ninja. Believe it, you could say. But yeah, pretty much after that, Kakashi tells him to meet him at the training field tomorrow. They'll eat or you're gonna puke. Which everybody start going a separate way, including Naruto. Now the next day, Naruto goes to Ichiran Ramen. Well, no, he actually eats a proper meal, you could say. And he pretty much starts heading to the training field. Now this is where Naruto begins to sit down and wait until Kakashi be late again. Now this is where Naruto already knows where Kakashi is. And he pretty much grabbed 3 kunais and he throws it at a tree. Which Kakashi pretty much jumps out the way. And Naruto's saying, you was really trying to waste all your time to see what we're going to do and see if we're going to eat. Which Kakashi says, yeah, sorry about that. Which Naruto says, oh no, I'm not mad, but you should probably apologize to those two. Which Kakashi apologized to those two. And he says, alright, time to get started. Now this is where he brings out 2 bells. Which Naruto says there's only 2 bells. Which Kakashi says, yeah, of course. Which this is where it's only going to be 2 people. There's going to be 2 people who's going to pass, and only 1 person who's going to get sent back to the academy. Now, this is where pretty much they all get shocked, except for Naruto, because Naruto already knows what it is. Like I said, because of AI. When I say Naruto already knows what it is, you already know what it is. It's the AI. But pretty much, Naruto already knows what it is, and he's not really nervous or scared. But Kakashi knows this, and is a little bit, concerned. Well, not concerned, but really, interested in why Naruto's not afraid and stuff. But pretty much, he says, on your mark, get set, go. And they all go in their separate way, except for Naruto. Now, this is where Naruto creates multiple clones, and he sends them out to Kakashi. Now, this is where Kakashi begins to start not even worrying about the clones and start dispatching all the clones. Instead, he punched 1 clone, and it's electric clone. Now, this is where Kakashi gets shocked, and Naruto starts charging at Kakashi with a Rasengan. How does Naruto know a Rasengan? Because, like I said, he's been capturing all the memories of everybody, including people who knows the Rasengan. And I'm going to say Jiraiya was in the village, talking to Hiruzen to see if Naruto's okay after the attack. So yeah, Kakashi was in the village staying around for a couple months, a couple weeks and months to see if Naruto's okay. So yeah. The AI pretty much got a lot of information from Jiraiya. So Naruto knows how to do Rasengan. So this is where he has a Rasengan charging straight at Kakashi, and he hits it right at Kakashi's stomach, sending him flying to a tree. Now this is where Kakashi immediately gets back his footing, and he lifts up his headband, showing up a Sharingan, and showing the intent of seriousness and to kill, you could say. Now this is where Naruto's not really afraid, and he pretty much activate his Sharingan. But it's instead of at the 1 Tomoe state, it's at the 3 Tomoe state. Which Kakashi is shocked that Naruto has a Sharingan. But he's not too concerned because he wants to figure out later. But right now, he charges at Naruto with a kunai. Now this is where Sasuke sees Kakashi with a Sharingan, and he's confused, but he's more enraged, and he jumps out, shooting fireballs at Kakashi. This is where Kakashi dodges out the way from the fireballs, but here comes Naruto coming in, shooting his fireballs at Kakashi, including shooting a Uchiha-style Great Fireball Jutsu. Well, no. Instead of shooting a Great Fireball, he's shooting a massive destruction fireball at Kakashi, which is fucking giant. And I'm saying it's like Kakashi, like Madara's fireball. So yeah, this is where pretty much Kakashi is shocked, and he barely just dodges the fireball. Well, no, he doesn't dodge the fireball. He shoots a water tidal wave at the fireball, pretty much creating a bunch of smoke in the air. This is where Naruto pretty much appeared right beside Kakashi, kicking him from the side, doing the legendary Vegeta kick arm shit, and pretty much breaks Kakashi's arm, sending him flying across. This is where Kakashi is getting up again, but his arm is broken, and Naruto comes in, hitting him with barrages of like Hyuga style, and having his eyes in Byakugan style, which Kakashi is shocked that he has Byakugan, and he's trying to dodge out Naruto's way, but it's too late. Naruto's pretty much hitting him with a bunch of, Hyuga style 64 palm, and pretty much hitting him all to his chakra points, preventing him to use any chakra. This is where pretty much he kicks Kakashi to another tree, and Kakashi hits through the tree and falls to the ground. This is where Kakashi can't get up or even move, and Naruto grabs the bells, and he hands one to Sasuke, and pretty much keeps the other one to himself, saying, well, pretty much cuts the bell in half and gives one to Sakura, saying, "Do we pass?" Which Kakashi can't say anything, but he says, "You pass," and he passes out, which the whole team is decided, and pretty much Naruto is saying, "Yeah." Now, after that, pretty much Naruto goes visit Kakashi in the hospital, which Kakashi is pretty much graduating team, but he pretty much scolds Naruto, saying that he needs to use teamwork more with his team and all that, which Naruto says he understands, and he will next time. But this is where he dismissed Sasuke and Naruto. Not Naruto, but dismissed Sasuke and Sakura, and they pretty much head away. But Sasuke stayed behind. This is where Kakashi talks to Naruto and saying, how did he have the Hyuga eyes and the Sharingan? And Naruto pretty much talks to Kakashi, pretty much knowing who Kakashi is and sees through the memories, saying, and knowing that, Kakashi is like a ghost, was a student to his father, Minato. Yeah, Naruto knows that stuff because the AI told him. But pretty much he tells him that he's not really human anymore. He's an android, and that he pretty much has the DNA of the Uchiha, and such as Senju DNA by this mad scientist, which he doesn't know the name of, and it was all planned by Danzo, wanted him to be a powerful, weapon and asset in the Leaf, which Kakashi is like pissed off about, but he understands. Well, he understands what's going on now, and he pretty much tells Naruto to keep it a secret, which Naruto already knows full well to keep it a secret, and they leave it as that. Now, this is part 1 of What If Naruto Was an Android. If you like, let's get this up to 50 likes, and I'll do a part 2. But I'm Kishan Uchiha. Thanks for watching, and peace out.
like you lost another one.